Question 1 requires you to make a pictorial drawing of the pen holder and show it its dimensions. Draw a complete circle. Once you have drawn the circle, and then make a mark slightly on the circle, then make another mark, and then by the end of the day you should have 6 marks. So use a ruler to join the first point to the second point, then join the second point to the third point, and finally join the 6th point to the first point. You will now have a hexagon inside the circle. So erase the circle carefully. Now take your eraser, erase the circle, and leave only the hexagon. From each visible corner of the hexagon, draw a straight line going downwards. Make each downward line 12 centimeters long. After you are done drawing the 6 lines, join the lower ends of the lines to form the bottom part of the pen holder. We should use solid lines for the edges that can be seen, and then use short broken lines for any edges hidden behind the pen holder. And then once you are done drawing, now you are finished drawing should show the following things. If you don't see any of these things, it means that you missed something. Number 1, you should see. Hello learners and welcome. In this video, I will guide you through the KJSEA Pretechnical Studies Project, Paper 2, for the July 2026. This project requires you to design and make hexagonal-based pen holder using locally available materials. The paper has 3 main parts, and part 1 is technical studies and it carries 28 marks. Then part 2 is computer studies and carries 6 marks. Part 3 is the business studies and it also carries 6 marks. Altogether, the project carries a total of 40 marks. I have researched the project requirements and identified the most suitable answers, materials, tools, and procedures for each task. So in this video, I will guide you step by step using practical answers and clear explanations designed to help you meet the marking requirements and also to help you earn the highest points possible. Now let us begin. So part 1 is the technical studies, and part 1 is about designing and making the hexagonal pen holder. It carries 28 marks and it has 4 questions. So we are going to address one question at a time. And let us begin with question 1. Question 1 requires you to make a pictorial drawing of the pen holder and show it its dimensions. First, you should know that a pictorial drawing is a drawing that shows how an object looks in real life. So it should be like a 3D drawing. It shows the object's height, width, side top, you know, the top side, the base, and also the sides. Everything should be captured within the picture. So for this project, the drawing should show the pen holder's 3-dimensional object as a 3-dimensional object and not just as a flat shape. So there are things that you need for you to draw, and one, you need an A4 paper. You also need a sharp pencil, you need a ruler, and you need a pair of compasses, and finally you need an eraser. So with this, you should be able to have your drawing in place and answer question 1. Now I will give you the step-by-step ways in which you can come up with this drawing to answer that question 1 correctly. And step number 1 is to choose the measurements. So you may use the following measurements for this drawing, and the height of the pen holder can be 12 centimeters. Then the length of each side of the hexagon can be 4 centimeters. The height may be changed, but the pen holder should be tall enough to hold pens and pencils. And then step number 2, draw a circle. So place the compass near the upper middle part of the A4 paper, and then open the compass to 4 centimeters. So take your ruler and measure 4 centimeters. And then draw a complete circle. Now once you have drawn the circle, do not change the compass opening, because the radius of the circle will also become the length of each side of the hexagon. And then step number 3 is to mark 6 points around that circle that you have drawn. So choose one point on the edge of the circle, any part of the circle, and then make a mark slightly on the circle, and then place the compass point place the compass on that point that you have marked, then make another mark, then do the same, place the compass on the point that you have marked, then make another mark, and then by the end of the day you should have 6 marks. And then step number 4 now is to join the 6 points. So use a ruler to join the first point to the second point, then join the second point to the third point, continue joining each point to the next one, and finally join the 6th point to the first point. Now you will now have a hexagon inside the circle. By the time you are done joining all those points, you will now have a hexagon inside the circle. Now a hexagon is a drawing that has 6 equal sides. So erase the circle carefully. Now take your eraser, erase the circle, and leave only the hexagon. And then step number 5 is to turn the hexagon into a pictorial drawing. Now the hexagon will show the top opening of the pen holder. From each visible corner of the hexagon, draw a straight line going downwards. Make each downward line 12 centimeters long and keep the lines straight, equal, and parallel. Now join the lower, after you are done drawing the 6 lines, join the lower ends of the lines to form the bottom part of the pen holder. We should use solid lines for the edges that can be seen, and then use short broken lines for any edges hidden behind the pen holder. And then once you are done drawing, now your finished drawing should show the following things. If you don't see any of these things, it means that you missed something. Number 1, you should see an open hexagonal top. And then number 2, you should see 6 upright sides. And then number 3, you should see a closed hexagonal base. And then number 4, you should see the height of the pen holder. And with this, you can be sure that your drawing is correct up to this point. Then once you confirm that the drawing is correct, step number 6 is to add the dimensions. Now use a thin dimension line with arrows at both ends, and then for example you can write 12 centimeters beside one upright side to show the height, and then write 4 centimeters beside one side of the top hexagon. Do not write the measurements inside the main drawing. Place them outside the drawing where they can be read clearly. And then step number 7 is to complete and check the drawing. Now once you are done with your drawing, write the title. On top there, write the title, Pictorial Drawing of the Hexagonal Pen Holder. And then ensure that the top has 6 sides, the top is open, the base is closed, and then the sides are straight, and then the measurements are shown. So the drawing should also be large and centered on the A4 paper. The lines are also supposed to be clean and very neat. So with that, you can be sure that you are done with your drawing and you can go on to the next question. So let us now talk about question number 2. And question number 2 says that you select locally available materials and give reasons. The question asks you to choose materials that can be found easily in Kenya, and you should also explain why the materials are suitable. And the question requires you to have 2, but I'm going to give you 5. I gathered 5 materials that are available in Kenya, and you can choose 2 from them. And I'll give you also the reasons why I chose each, and then you can see whether it is a good reason and whether it fits for your options. So number 1, I chose carton from old boxes. I chose a carton because it is easy to find in shops, in homes, in schools. So it is something that is easily available. It is also easy to measure, to cut, to fold, and to join. That is why I chose carton from old boxes as option number 1. And then option number 2 is manila paper or thick chart paper. Now a manila paper is light and it is easy to shape. It can also be decorated using paint, colored paper, or markers. That is why it is a good option too. And then option 3 is plywood or thin pieces of timber. So plywood is strong and it will last longer. It can also hold very many pens, pencils, and also other classroom items without bending because it is strong. So the reason why I went for plywood is because number one, it is available, and number two, it is strong. It is strong and it will hold many pens. It can also be used for a long time. And then number four, I chose plastic from an old container. Now plastic is not easily damaged by water. So that is one advantage of using a plastic. Reusing of an old plastic container also helps to reduce waste, which is also an advantage. So when we choose plastics, we are helping the environment, and we are also using materials that are easily available and materials that are not easy to be damaged by water. And then number five, I chose ice cream sticks. Now ice cream sticks are easy to collect because you can just collect them and then you can join them together using glue. They can make the pen holder strong and also very attractive because they are smart. So learners should choose materials that are available. Number one, we should look at availability of that material. Number two, the safety. How safe is it to use? You cannot use something that is not safe. And then number three, it should be easy to work with, because remember it is a project that you are going to do practically. So it should be easy for you to work with. And therefore I found that for most people, carton is the easiest material to use because it is cheap, it is safe, and it is also very easy to shape. And then now after addressing the materials, we are done with question number 2. So we are going to question number 3. And question number 3 says that select and use suitable tools. Now the question asks you to list the tools needed for measuring, for marking, for cutting, shaping, and making the complete pen holder. Now the following tools are suitable. So based on the materials I've given you up there in question 2, the following tools are suitable. Number 1, we have a steel rule or a tape measure. It is used to measure the height, the width, and the sides of the pen holder. Then number 2, a pencil. It is used to mark the measurements and cutting lines. So we need a pencil. Then we also need a set square. It is used to draw straight lines especially for the hexagon and also the height, and it also helps to check the right angles. And then we need a pair of compasses. It is used to help draw the hexagonal shape accurately, because with a compass, the way we have done in question 1, you draw a circle first, and it will help you make sure that all the sides of the hexagon are equal. And then we also need a protractor, and you can use it to measure the angles of the hexagon. Then we need scissors, and scissors are to cut carton, paper, or thin plastic. And then we need a craft knife, which is used to cut thick carton neatly. That is a craft knife. And then we need also a cutting board. And a cutting board is the place where the material is placed before using a craft knife. So this protects the table. You know, the craft knife can damage the table, but when you place the cutting board, it will help to ensure that nothing is damaged. And also another equipment is a hand saw or a tenon saw. And what is it used for? It is used as one of the items for making the pen holder from timber or plywood. So if the material you have selected is timber or plywood, then definitely you will need a hand saw or a tenon saw. And then next we need a rasp or a file. A file is used to make things smooth, to smoothen rough wood or plastic edges. So if the material you are using is plastic or wood, you will definitely need a file. And then next we need a sandpaper, which is also used to make or to cut edges, to make the cut edges very smooth and also safe, because when you cut a wood, it can be very sharp and unsafe. But once you use a sandpaper, it is going to smoothen it. Next, we also need a glue gun, which should be strong and adhesive. It is used to join the parts firmly. For example, if you are using cartons, you will need that glue to join the parts together. A glue gun should only be used with the teacher's supervision, because it can be dangerous. So, or maybe a guardian's or a parent's supervision. So make sure that as you use the glue gun, you are using it carefully and preferably under the supervision of someone. And then we can also use a claw hammer, and it is only used when joining wooden parts with small nails, because you need now to make sure that the nails are joining the woods together. Then we may need a paint brush. What do we need a paint brush for? It is used to paint or decorate the finished pen holder, because one of the ways you can make your pen holder different from others is decorating it. Once you have it, decorate it very cleanly, and then it is going to look unique based on the colors that you chose. So I have given you very many tools, but the tools that you select should match the material that you are using. For carton, use a steel rule, a pencil, and a set square. You can also use compasses, scissors, or a craft knife, glue, and sandpaper. And then if you are using wood to make your pen holder, you should have a steel rule, a pencil, a set square, a tenon saw, a rasp, a sandpaper, a hammer. You should have some nails and also wood glue. So whatever tools you decide to choose will be based on the material that you go with. And with that, we are done with question 3, because we have discussed all those tools. Choose the ones that fit the material that you are going to use. Then next, we go to the last question in this part, which is question number 4. And question 4 says, assemble the parts using suitable joining method. Now, the question asks you to join all the prepared parts and complete the pen holder. First, place all the cut parts on a clean table, and then check that the 6 side pieces are of correct size, because they should be correct, because every piece must be correct and match the other. Then check the base and ensure that it is hexagonal and it fits at the bottom, and then arrange the 6 side pieces on the correct order. So for a carton pen holder, place the side pieces next to each other, and then leave a small space between them so that they can fold easily. Then join the side pieces using strong glue or adhesive tape, and then fold the joined pieces to form a hexagonal shape. Then next, bring the first and the last side together. And then now, once you are done doing that, place the hexagonal shape on the base. Doing that, apply the glue around the edges of the base. Then use the tape to hold them in position while the glue dries. Then finally, once you ensure that everything looks good, now paint or cover with any decorations you want, and the pen holder is going to look very neat and nice. Then now you can allow it to dry completely before placing any pens and pencils inside. And that is how to make your pen holder. Once you are done making your pen holder, you are done with part 1 and you are ready to go to part 2. Now let us talk about part 2, which is computer studies. Part 2 carries 6 marks. It requires the learner to prepare a project report using a word processing application, and then insert a photograph of the finished pen holder, and then share the report with the teacher. So question 5A requires you to prepare the project report. The question asks you to use a word processing application to prepare a report about the project activities. You can use an application like the Microsoft Word, that is the most common, but we also have others like Google Docs, we have the WPS Writer, so choose the one which is available for you. And then a report should not be made up of names and items only. It should actually have a clear title, it should have headings and short paragraphs that explain what was done. So for example, do not simply write something like materials used and then put colon and say carton, glue, paint. Instead, write a complete sentence such as, we used carton to make the sides and the base of the pen holder. We also used glue to join the parts and paint to decorate the finished product. So you see, you should make full sentences and not very short ones. It should be actually in paragraph format. A good report can follow this format. Let me give you a format that you can follow to make your report look like actually a report and not like listing. So this is what you should do. Number one, you should have title of the report. So at the top of the first page, write, for example, report on the making of hexagonal pen holder, or report on the making of a hexagonal pen holder. That is a good title. The title should be centered and written in bold, so make sure it is at the center and then it is bolded. And then once you are done with the title, write the introduction. So up there in the first page, you can also include the name of all the group members, the 4 names or 5 names. And then starting page 2, introduction. Write a short paragraph explaining the purpose of the project. For example, this report explains how a group made a hexagonal pen holder using locally available materials. The pen holder was designed to store pens, pencils, rubbers, sharpeners, glue sticks, and other small classroom items. So that is a very good opening paragraph or an introduction. And then next you should write, the project was completed by the following group members. That you can include the name of group members now after the introduction and state all your names. You may write the names on a separate line or just in a simple table. You can create a table and then include your names. Include the full names of every learner who took part in the project. Check the spelling of all names before saving the document to ensure they are correct. Then the next part, go to materials used. So in materials used part, write a short paragraph explaining the materials that you used and what each material was used for. So don't just say that I used this. Say, why did you use it? I will give you an example again. For example, you can say, our group used strong carton to make 6 sides and a hexagonal base of the pen holder. We used strong glue to join the parts. We colored and painted the pen holder. We used decorations to make sure that the finished product looked attractive. You can also say maybe adhesive tape was also used to hold the parts together while the glue dried. So you can just make it a paragraph that is making sense and explaining what you did, because the process that you followed is what you are putting in paper. Then once you are done with materials, go to tools used. Again here, write a short paragraph explaining the tools that you used and the work done with each tool. I will give you another example for the tools. You can say, we used a steel rule to take measurements and a pencil to mark the cutting lines. We also used scissors and a craft knife to cut the carton. We also used a paint brush to decorate the finished pen holder. So here I'm just stating the tools that I used and what I used them for. And then make sure that you mention only the tools that were actually used. Again here, just like the materials, don't talk about anything that you did not use. Then once you are done with that, go to a part called project procedure. So we want to explain the procedure. Now, although the question mainly asks for the names, the materials and tools, adding a short section about the activities makes the report more complete. For example, you can say, we first measured and marked the 6 sides of the hexagon bases. We then cut the parts carefully, and then the 6 side pieces were joined to form the body of the pen holder. Then the body was fixed onto the base using glue. Finally, the pen holder was decorated and allowed to dry. Stating this procedure is going to make your report look like you went that extra mile. Then finally, a good report should also have a conclusion. Now finish the report with a short conclusion, and here you are just concluding what you have stated. For example, the group completed the project successfully. The finished pen holder was strong, neat and suitable for storing classroom items. That is a very nice report, well organized with topics and paragraphs. So unless your teacher has asked you to state things, make sure that it is in paragraphs, because that is how a report should look like. Then question 5b is about the format of the project. So what is formatting? Formatting simply means improving the appearance of the document so that it is clear, neat and easy to read. For example, you can use fonts like Arial, Calibri, Times New Roman. So if it is Word document, go and choose fonts like Times New Roman is a very good option. Then you can use a font size of about 12 for the main text. That is the standard one. And then you can use a larger font size such as 16 or 18 for the main title. Then make the title bold and centered. Then make the section headings bold, because remember all those headings that we have, the materials, the tools, the procedure, the conclusion, let them be bolded. The headings, all those headings should have one format. If the introduction is bolded, the conclusion heading should also be bolded. So make sure that everything, that the titles are matching, they look the same. And then another formatting aspect to check is using proper spacing between heading and paragraphs. And then another thing is to align the main paragraphs neatly. You can use first line or ensure that they are justified, so they should look very neat. Then use correct capital letters, punctuations, spelling. This is where you proofread your paper to make sure that everything is punctuated correctly and that the capital letters are where they should be. Then you may add a simple page border, but do not overdo, so that the report will not look funny. The borders can be just normal, the one by one. And then the document should look like formal and organized, because it is a formal document. This is a report, so it should look formal and organized. And then the spacing can be 2. There is that spacing between one line to the other. You can choose 2 or 1.5 depending on the instructions that were given to you by your teacher. And then question number 6 requires you to insert a photograph of the finished product. So after the pen holder is complete, you should take a very clear photograph of it. Take a very good picture with your phone or a camera if you have one. Whatever device you can use, take a very clean picture and then save this picture very well into the laptop or computer where you are doing your work. Then place the pen holder in a clean and well lit area so that you can take that picture. For it to appear very well, let it be in a clean and a lit area. You should have a lot of lighting. And then make sure that the whole product can be seen. Don't take half of it or a quarter. Take the whole of it. And then avoid taking a dark, blurred or tilted photograph. Let it be clear. Then once you are done taking your picture, transfer it to the computer or device that you are using, as I have said. And then in Microsoft Word, follow these steps to insert that picture in your report. Number 1, place the cursor where you want the photograph to appear. And then click on Insert. There is a button called Insert there next to Home page. And then click on Pictures. And then choose the device or the place where the photograph is saved. So if, for example, in your computer you saved it in a folder called Pictures, now go and open that folder and then select the photograph. You can double click it or just click it once and click on Insert. And then after inserting the photograph, now click on Neat and adjust its size so that it can look very well fit and neat inside your report. Then drag from corner of the image so that it does not become stretched. Let it just look the normal size. Then place the photograph below the project procedure or before the conclusion. And then center the photograph. Let it be at the center of the page. Then below the image, write captions such as Figure 1, completed hexagonal pen holder. So remember that for images, we usually write the heading below, not on top like a table or a report. We write it below the image, that completed hexagonal pen holder, or another title of your choice. Now, do not make the photograph too large or too small. Make sure that it fits properly on the page so that it can look very neat and organized. And with that, you are done with question number 6. Then question number 7 says that you share the report with the teacher. And now, the completed report should be saved before it is shared. Remember that you are done with the project. It is now saved very well. Save that report, save it somewhere in that computer. Then give the file a clear name such as hexagonal pen holder project report, or you can start with your name or the name of the group, maybe group 3, hexagonal pen holder project report. The report can be shared using ICT communication tools. Suitable ICT communication tools that are required now for you to use one of it to share. Let me give you an option or options. We have a list of them. We have very many of them and you can choose one. And then I'll tell you which one I think is best. So number 1, we have email. These are all ICT communication tools. Email, WhatsApp, Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, Telegram, school learning portal, Bluetooth, nearby sharing. You can share with nearby devices, flash disk where allowed by the teacher. But I can tell you this one thing, that email is the best option, because once you share the document through your email, it is easy for the teacher to access it. When using an email, open the email application, then enter the teacher's email address. So you should first of all get the email address of your teacher so that you can share it through that email address. Then write a clear subject such as hexagonal pen holder project report. And then you can now include a short message. And in that message, maybe you can just say, kindly find the pen holder project for group 3, or whatever message that you want to tell your teacher. And then next, attach the word document. So you should click on files and then attach it there to the email. Then check that the correct file has been attached, and then you can now send. So it is very easy to do, sending an email and attaching your document. So if you are using WhatsApp, you need to open the teacher's chat or the class group and then select the attachment symbol, choose the document, select the project report and send it. Send the report as a document, not as a screenshot. Make sure that it is a Word document, because that was the requirement for you to write your report on a document, Word document or any other format that you used, but it should be a document. Now before sharing, open the file and check that before you share the final report, there are things that you can check within that report to ensure that it is well. 1, ensure that the report is complete from the first page up to the last page. Ensure it is complete. Then ensure that the photograph is visible. Remember that photograph that you inserted, ensure it is visible. Then next, ensure that the formatting is neat. It should be very well formatted, and I've told you the formattings that you can use. Then ensure that the correct document is being sent. Don't send the wrong document, because it can cost you. If you send the wrong document or a draft instead of the complete paper, it can make you lose marks. Then once you send the document, part 2 is complete. You are done with part 2 and you are ready to go to part 3. Now let us talk about part 3, business studies. Part 3 carries 6 marks and it tests whether the learner understands how the finished pen holder can be promoted, sold, and turned into a small business opportunity. Because I love CBC, that is what it is about. It's not just about doing things, but it is about thinking how you can use them for your own good. So let us address question number 8. It is the first question in this part 3. And it says that if the pen holder is to be sold, which 4 marketing tools would you use? Marketing tools are the methods used to make people know about a product and encourage them to buy it. So for the pen holder, a learner can use the following 4 marketing tools. I'm giving you 4 that I found. You can research more, or you can choose the ones that you think are best among these 4. Number 1, I chose posters. Posters can be placed on school notice boards, they can be placed on shop walls or other suitable places. The poster should show the name of the product, its price, and where it can be bought. So you just need to design a poster, and also in that poster include the name of the product, and then advertise it in schools, shops, or where else you think it can be bought. Then number 2, I chose social media. Pictures on the pen holder can be shared on WhatsApp. Social media includes WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Social media is very popular these days, and this can help many people see the product quickly. So because social media has a big following of people, when you post it there or when you advertise it there, many people are going to see the product, and those who are interested are going to buy. Number 3 is word of mouth. Learners can tell classmates, teachers, parents, neighbors, and friends about the pen holder. That is why word of mouth can help you also sell that pen holder very easily. You know, satisfied customers or someone who has bought the pen holder and they like it, they can also tell other people about it, and that is also what we call word of mouth, where customers also help the seller to spread news about this product to other people, and then those people come and buy, so they give you customers. And then number 4 is product review. Now the pen holder can be displayed at school exhibitions. This is what we are calling product display. At school exhibitions, in the market stalls, in shops, or during open days. You know, a neat display allows customer to see the product clearly before buying it. So you have placed it there for people, just as a display for people to see it, and then if they love it, they are actually going to buy it. So a learner may also mention other suitable tools such as flyers. So these are other advertisement methods. We have flyers, we have price discounts, we have demonstrations where you go to a place maybe and you show people this is a pen holder, you place your pens there and you put it like this and it is very strong. You are demonstrating to people. That is demonstrations. And you can also have maybe school announcements maybe in your school where an announcement is placed. Maybe it can be put in a notice board or announced in a parade or in your school announcements will help learners to know that there is a pen holder they can buy which is going to be useful for them. So you can select the ones you think are best among what I've given, or research more, because I know that we have many others. Then with that, now we are done with question 8. We go to question number 9. And question number 9 says that identify 4 intermediaries that may be involved in selling the pen holder. Now, intermediaries are people or businesses that help move a product from the producer to the final customer. So if maybe you have that pen holder, before it reaches someone who is going to buy it, there could be someone between you who will help you move that product. Now for this pen holder, the following intermediaries may be involved. We have different intermediaries, and these are those who may be involved for this product. Number 1, we have a wholesaler. A wholesaler can buy many pen holders from the learner to the producer. You are now the producer, the learner, and then this wholesaler is going to sell them in smaller amounts to retailers. That is what wholesalers do. They buy things in bulk at a cheaper price, then they sell it to retailers at a slightly higher price. Then number 2, we have retailers. A retailer sells the pen holder directly to the final customer. A wholesaler distributes to retailers, and then retailers distribute to customers. So you as the producer, you can sell to the wholesaler, and you can also sell to the retailer direct. Examples include bookshops, gift shops, school shops, and supermarkets. Those are all retail shops or retailers. So you can distribute your product there, and then it is going to be sold to the final consumer. Then next we have agent or agent. An agent helps the producer find customers and make sales. Now, the agent may receive a commission for every pen sold. For example, you can agree with an agent that for every customer you give me and I sell, I'm going to give you 5 bob. So if you are selling it maybe for 20 bob, for every 20 bob you get, you give them 5 bob. So that is called a commission. So this agent is going to try and look for more customers. Why? Because they want to get as many 5 bobs as possible. That is called an agent. Then next we have Then next we have an online seller. An online seller can advertise and sell the pen holder through online platforms. The seller may use social media pages, online shops, or digital marketplaces. Other acceptable intermediaries may include distributors, hawkers, market traders, or school suppliers. So out of all those lists, choose the ones that you think are the best, or whichever others you have researched, and whoever you think can help in selling this product to the final consumer, the answer should be correct. Then question number 10, it asks which 4 entrepreneurial skills have been demonstrated throughout the project. By doing this project from the beginning up to this far, there are those entrepreneurial skills that have been demonstrated. And what are these skills? Entrepreneurial skills are the abilities used to plan, create, improve, and sell a product, because that means you are an entrepreneur. It is someone who sells a product. You can be one who is creating, you can be the one who is planning, maybe improving it, or just selling it. All these are entrepreneurs. And when I thought about this question, I came up with 4 skills that I believe are well demonstrated by doing this project. Every learner who is going to do this project, the following are the skills, are among the skills. I know we have others. They are among the skills. I came up with 4. We have more. I came up with 4, and these skills were demonstrated by doing this project. Number 1 is creativity. Creativity was shown when the learner designed the pen holder and chose how to decorate it, because that is creativity. You are thinking how to do it and you did it. They also used locally available materials in a useful way, because you had to look for something that is available, something that is cheaper for you to use, something that is safe. So you had to think for you to come up with the option that you chose. Then number 2 is problem solving. Now problem solving was shown when learners found a way to reduce loss of pens, pencils, rubbers, and other small items. They also solved challenges that came up during cutting, joining, or shaping the materials that you used to make your pen holder. Now, problem solving is demonstrated throughout, because there are many problems that arise as you do a project like this one, and you have to determine how you are going to solve it until you come up with a solution. Then another thing I cannot forget, this project was to be done by about 4 to 5 people. It is a group work. So something that was demonstrated is teamwork. And teamwork was shown because learners worked in groups. They shared duties, they helped one another, and they completed the project together. So there was a lot of teamwork involved. Then next, there was decision making. Decision making was shown when the learners selected the materials. You are making a decision on your own. You have to select the materials. You have to come up with measurements. You have to join the methods, and you have to come up with the marketing methods. Everything, it was a decision that you made on what to choose. And then other suitable skills maybe you may choose include communication. When you send that email, that report to the teacher, there is communication, there is planning, there is time management, because this project is done within time frame. There is time limit, so time management. There is also risk taking, because you have to buy all these things that you need and believe that at the end of the day you are going to come up with a pen holder. That is called risk taking. Then there is also leadership, because you are the one who was pioneering the completion of your project, you and the group members. So there is leadership aspect. And there is also confidence. Without confidence, there is no way you can come up with such a project. So learners should give clear answers that connect directly to the activities carried out during the project. When you did the project, which are those skills that you think you demonstrated? That is what you should write down. And that is the end of the project. I hope that it was very helpful to you. If you like this video, please make sure that you share it with more people so that they can also benefit. And we have such videos and we are going to have more. So do subscribe to our channel so that you can find more educative content that is going to be helpful to you. Even as you transition to senior school, we have content that is going to be very helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.